What up, man? What up, world? It's your boy Big Cal, man. Coming in, man. How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing? Let me get my shit together real fast. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. We back in the building. Your host is with the motherfucking most. It's your host with the most controversial Cal, man. What's up with it, man? Show some love to the podcast. Trying to get this streaming thing popping. You know what I'm saying? Back to my controversial self, man. We gotta get it in. Gotta get it in, man. It's a perfect day to hop on here and talk a little ish, man. And as you can see on my thumbnail, we talk about the legal U-turn from this illegal migrant. Obviously, he's illegal. Anyway, man, let's get it popping, man. Obviously, the guy's an illegal because it's been documented, man. But this is the wild turn of events going on in America, man. Wild turn of events. How does a illegal migrant get a CDL, a commercial driver's license? That's my biggest question and biggest concern as far as it's in America. And there's so many stipulations put on Americans just trying to get their CDLs. And it's just crazy to me that a legal migrant could get his CDLs. Not even a citizen of the United States, and he gets I don't know. I guess he had a work visa or whatever, but damn, it's crazy turn of events right here, man. Let's get it popping.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, 11:44 on the East Coast, 8:44 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here to bring you all of your top stories. Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox.
Yes.
The Trump administration now investigating a deadly Florida crash allegedly caused by an illegal migrant truck driver.
And officials say the suspect couldn't read English or understand road signs despite getting a commercial driver's license from...
What the heliante? What the heliante? He can't even read English and he has a license. Like I just said, what kind of government would allow a migrant, I don't care if you're on a work visa, to get a CDL, commercial driver's license? I mean, the Democrats ran this country like a straight up joke for the last 4 to 8 years. How long was Biden? Biden got, no, he didn't. No, but the last 4 years, they ran this thing straight into the ground, man. Like, just realistically, man, they did. And it's no surprise that the people chose how they chose this past election. No surprise.
2 sanctuary states.
Lucas Thomason is live in Washington with the details. Good morning, Lucas.
Good morning, Lawrence. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy has launched a new investigation into this deadly Florida highway crash involving an illegal alien. Preliminary report says if states had followed the rules, the driver would have never been behind the wheel. It also says the driver responsible for that fatal crash that killed 3 people, quote, the driver failed the assessment, providing correct responses to just 2 of 12 verbal questions and only accurately identifying 1 of 4 highway traffic signs.
What the heliante, man? This is not a laughing matter. This is actually a concerning matter for a law-abiding citizen such as myself. Just to know, like, our country does not have our best interests and our safety at heart out here on these, these highways and byways, federally protected highways. You understand? So it's just a confusing situation that they would have this type of person on the highway when, like I said, there's people that would love, American citizens that would love to have a CDL, and they have to go through so many processes, checks and balances, all type of things in order to open up a business and whatever, just to get your own commercial driver's license, and especially if you're owner operator, just all the stipulations, to get the MC number, the FMC number, there's all these things, just the DOT number, a business going, like, and just to minus all that, just to be able to get on the road with a commercial driver's license. Just the process it takes as an American citizen that can read that has his own license, a Class C. He can read perfectly. He has good eyesight. He's healthy. And he wants to be a CDL driver. He has to go through a lot just to do that. You know what I'm saying? He has to go through a process for sure. Like, you know, obviously the DOT physical, the drug screening, the you know, you got to make sure you can drive and actually pass the driving exam. Just all these things that you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Just to and this guy from another country who just come here and can't speak English, can't read signs, doesn't even know how to follow the traffic ordinances and you know and regulations, and he's able to get a commercial driver's license like that. So it's sad, dude. It's concerning. Hit that like button for me, man. Give me that algorithm.
Here's more from Secretary Duffy on X posting, "Here's what we know. Washington State improperly issued the driver a full-term commercial driver's license. Asylum seekers or illegal aliens are not allowed to receive this. New Mexico failed to conduct an English language proficiency test when they pulled the driver over for speeding. Had they done this, the driver would not have been on the road. We are also looking into California."
Because you got to think, like, I would not think they would give him a commercial driver's license either. Like, even if you're here on a work visa, that doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're here illegally, or, you know, not illegally because you went through the proper channels to get a work visa, which his expired. So he was here illegally, but you're able to get a work visa. That seems like a conflict of interest to put someone from another country behind a commercial vehicle. You know, that's just my concern. That's just my logical concern and rationale. It makes sense that if you're here on asylum or whatever the fact, or you're, you know, they shouldn't provide them with like get another line of work on it. But I don't think you should be able to be behind the wheel. That's just proving that I don't know. It's just a tricky area right there, especially somebody like this. Like, man, they should have to definitely go through the rigmarole for sure. Like, make sure they can speak English, or at least be able to read the road signs and you know, have some type of translator or something. Like, this seems dangerous. Just being honest, to have somebody like this behind like any illegal migrant or immigrant or somebody that's here on a work visa, to have them behind the wheel in a country that it just doesn't seem, in my opinion, logical.
California's issuance of the commercial driver's license. The failures here are despicable, and non-enforcement and radical immigration policies have turned the trucking industry into a lawless frontier, resulting in unqualified foreign drivers improperly acquiring licenses to operate 40-ton vehicles. The president and I moved quickly to require drivers to speak English, our national language, and launch a full-scale audit of how these licenses are doled out.
Please.
Now, here's about more about the driver. Harjinder Singh is accused of killing 3 people in a minivan in Florida after you showed the video after attempting an illegal U-turn through a highway last week in Fort Pierce, marked official use only, with his massive tractor trailer in Florida after you showed the video after attempting an illegal U-turn through a highway last week in Fort Pierce, marked official use only, with his massive tractor trailer in Florida after you showed the video after attempting an illegal U-turn through a highway last week in Fort Pierce, marked official use only, with his massive tractor trailer blocking the highway of a 4-lane highway. And the 28-year-old illegal alien faces deportation and 3 counts of homicide. The trucking company is also under review. And guys, that accident happened just an hour north of Palm Beach in Mar-a-Lago, guys.
Wow, thanks, Lucas. And we have all caught on video. Washington State is not allowed to issue a commercial driver's license to illegal aliens. They did. New Mexico failed to conduct an English proficiency test, and they pulled the driver over for speeding. Had they done that, the driver would not have been on the road. So, both states, sanctuary states, lenient illegal immigrant policies, and the result is more death.
So this driver is driving down in Florida. He ends up being arrested in the state of California. So did he drive all the way across the country? If you get an illegal driver's license in a state that allows this, you drive all over the map, and he ended up He's being charged with killing 3 people, a 37-year-old woman, a 54-year-old man who was from Miami, and a 30-year-old driver of that car, of that minivan. You could see in the video the minivan just before it hits. So you know, obviously, they're alive. And as soon as it hits, 2 of them die there on the scene. One was transported to the hospital. And the driver, if you are in an accident...
Man, look at that. Look at that van, dude. Look at that van, bro. Look at the carnage. Turn that shit into a goddamn can of sardines, bro. That shit look crazy. Like, that shit literally turned. That's the 18-wheeler was a can opener. And that damn caravan was a can of sardines, dude.
Have you ever been in an accident? You get so nervous. you have a reaction. The driver didn't even have a reaction, just looks back and sees that the minivan hit him, did a U-turn in the middle of the Florida Turnpike.
Well, no reaction when people died immediately on the scene.
Correct.
So you see the medical workers as well as first responders putting the white cloth over the body, and you still don't have a reaction after you see that. But I have multiple questions. First of all, who gave
that motherfucker from another country, man? Shit, man, he probably don't sting 1,000 times worse, bro. In some of them countries, bro. I'm just being honest. Even from another country, wherever, he probably don't sing 1,000 times worse. He probably thought it's probably a Tuesday to him, man.
the test? Who administered the test? They should be banned.
You can easily find out, right? Don't you have to sign off?
Just investigate. These aren't easy tests. My dad's a truck driver, so who gave the test? Was there someone helping him with the test? Because the guy doesn't speak English. Was the test given in a different language? I mean, there's so many questions about.
You can only read one of the 4 road signs.
That makes no sense.
I mean, so it was so interesting that he couldn't answer. They asked him 12 questions. He couldn't answer. He got 10 wrong. They asked him different questions about what signs to read. He goes, the rules they had, the driver would never have been behind the wheel if he was be able to answer these questions. The driver failed the assessment, provided correct responses to 2 of 12 verbal questions. And
you probably had somebody else that could speak English take the test for him, bro. Probably had an impersonator. Crazy.
Actually identify 1 of 4 highway traffic signs. But the other thing is, doesn't the dead reaction remind you of Laken Riley's killer in the courtroom? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that this guy's a mass murderer, like a killer, but he does kill people, and he doesn't seem to understand the gravity of the situation. The other thing is, I have a thorough appreciation. I kid around about driving that RV, but it was huge. Right? It is so hard to drive that car. You don't get training. In a million years, I would never drive anyone in that. Can you imagine if you put me in Russia and told me to drive an 18-wheeler? Exactly. It's an accident waiting to happen.
Exactly. Well, the company is based out of California, and according to the Miami Herald, the company took down its Facebook page on Monday. Google is now listing it as permanently closed. And then Sean Duffy said on Tuesday or yesterday, he said in social media that there would be a federal investigation of this company, and said he's looking into how this driver got a commercial driver's license in California.
Since they have to cross state lines, the administration has to put a restriction when it comes to the CDL. If you're a CDL holder, I'm not trying to get into states' rights and all that. It's up to you to put pressure on your own state. But since most 18-wheeler drivers go across state lines, the feds should be able to have federal regulation.
I agree with you.
I'm Steve Ducey. I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews. A New York Post op-ed detailing how, quote, blue states keep finding new ways to undermine the federal government's crackdown on illegal immigration. The op-ed pointing to a recent incident in Florida where 3 people died in a crash caused by an illegal immigrant with a California driver's license. That illegal immigrant now facing 3 charges of vehicular manslaughter. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis wants Congress to take action to stop this from happening again.
Shout out to Fox.
You shouldn't be giving illegals driver's license. We don't allow that in Florida. California does. They've issued probably over 1 million licenses to illegals in recent years. But to have somebody like that on our roadways putting people in jeopardy, yes, criminally prosecute him, the illegal, 100%. But I think it's got to go beyond that, and I think we got to get tougher on this nationally. Ultimately, I think you're going to need the Congress to use the power of the purse and defund states like California that are sanctuary states and they're similar cities.
This as Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker doubles down on support for illegals, signing a new law to expand access to financial aid for undocumented students. Illinois State Senator Selena Villanueva saying, quote, if you live in Illinois and are pursuing higher education, you should have access to the same opportunities as your peers. This law is about making sure no student is left behind because of where they were born. What I find so fascinating about this is that there are 19 states, as well as the District of Columbia, that have enacted laws to allow unauthorized immigrants to obtain driver's licenses. And now we're seeing this tragedy that occurred in Florida and a fairly significant pushback where they're asking perhaps if there's something that can be done at a federal level.
And I see this as a double layer of prevention.
So the issue here is that people point to this and say, this tragedy could have been prevented. This person should not have had what is a privilege of a commercial driver's license. And it seems to me that certain groups of people behind allowing things like this feel that a driver's license is a right, that someone should absolutely have that. It dovetails into the concept behind the law, which is despite a scarcity of resources, if a human is on this soil, then they must be entitled to all of the same things that people who were here legally are.
And that's bullshit. Just being honest, that's bullshit. Like, that's just me, man. I'm definitely pro coming here the right way, you know, doing the proper channels. That's just me. That's just me.
And at the end of the day, they're not. It is a scarce resource constellation that we're dealing with. Illinois is in the hole already $2.5 billion just for the last 3 years alone, and they're going to add in tuition now. That's all healthcare. And you go back to the driver's licenses, and the reality is that the vast majority of criminal behavior on the part of illegal immigrants actually do have to do with vehicles. And that, with soaring death rates as well on the highway, that is a massive layer of...
That's the thing that bothers me the most. Like, we already have issues plaguing our own communities here in America, and that's of all creeds and backgrounds, whereas, you know, poverty and you know, whatever's going on, you know what I'm saying, that the things that's plaguing us, and we actually are finding the time and resources to divvy out to this. Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense, man. Like, just a straight waste of resources, in my opinion.
Prevention that could occur in addition to the implementation of enforcing these federal immigration laws. You get pulled over, you don't have a license, great. That's one more person that can be deported and make the roads safer and enhance the application of this mandate that President Trump has to keep America safe.
Yeah, and Lawrence, Emily just kind of broadened the discussion. You know, we're not just talking about a loss of lives, but there's a major financial issue that has been at play, particularly which came to light during the migrant crisis, where so many communities and states, even blue states, were frustrated by that crisis and the costs.
Well, my father's a truck driver. And apparently this issue is pervasive within the field. Apparently they're passing out CDLs. I don't understand why that should be happening in this country when this is, you know, first they were telling us these are the jobs that people don't want. Well, that's clearly, this is clearly a job that a lot of people want. It's a high-paying job if you do it the right way, but these truck drivers are away from there.
Bro, that's crazy. Like, it's probably people that really doing the right things that really deserve these opportunities to get CDLs, but they probably just can't, you know what I'm saying, you know, provide the money. You know, a lot of these classes, I've already looked it up. It costs, you know, a lot of money to get a CDL. You just want to pay out of pocket. This upwards of $4,000 plus out of pocket cost just to get a CDL, go to CDL class. So unless you sign with a company, that's expensive. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy that they just hand these things out like popcorn to these motherfuckers from another country. It's like, golly, like, I mean, people, you know, if you're smart enough, then you deserve the access because, you know, you're doing it the smarter way. But damn, like, I just don't think people that can't read and understand science deserve a fucking license. I think that's like, and there's people out here that you know could occupy those same positions and occupy them same licenses. But hey, I digress, man.
Their families. This is not the position that Democrats want to find themselves in, defending people like this. Like the man had no sympathy, by the way, when you had 3 people that die on the scene. No sympathy at all. I will say this. I have been disappointed in the lack of candor when it came to the Democrats and strategy.
He's kind of smirking.
You can hand over the criminals, you can hand over the people that are violent to this administration and work with the president on some visas for some folks so they can do it the right way. But instead, I haven't seen any attempt to work with the administration to get something done. To take a cue from the EU and all these European leaders who once disagreed with the president but realized it really didn't work. It didn't serve their interests.
And on the issue of driver's licenses, Nicole, this gets you across a certain threshold to have this legal ID that you can present.
Right. And I mean, I find it absolutely stunning. I mean, I am a resident of Florida. That was my state. I'm very familiar with that area. And to think California issued this, you know, that's a sanctuary state. Why should we be punished in the state of Florida because California, that was a commercial, you know, driver's license, killed 3 people. And like Lawrence said, that man had dead eyes. After that happened, it just kind of looked like nothing even happened. I mean, that's absolutely disgusting. But one thing I do appreciate.
Hey, he really did though, man. Like people that keep it, but that motherfucker had dead eyes, bro. He like Michael Myers, man. He look like Michael Myers, dog, in the eyes, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jamie Lee Curtis with them big old milk jugs, man. Hit that like button. Shout out to Jamie Lee Curtis with them big old milk jugs, man. But she look like that motherfucker, that Indian dude look like Michael Myers, bro. Like, heartless, desensitized. Like I said, he probably seen 1,000 times worse in this country, man. That's all I'm saying, man.
Again, and doubling down on this is the Trump administration. Pam Bondi issued 30 letters to different sanctuary cities and says, look, you get in line or we're going to come in and take care of your cities for you like we are with DC. And also I appreciate that the ICE agents, they are recruiting like crazy, over 100,000 applicants. I was just speaking to an FBI agent last night. She knows of 6 retired FBI agents that are coming out of retirement to serve for ICE. Yeah. Nicole just brought up the letters that were sent to these sanctuary cities. There's already some pushback, and there could be some financial consequence as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I find it stunning that we don't see more cooperation, Lawrence, to your point, on what our policies ought to be when it comes to deporting illegal migrants, or at a minimum, not incentivizing their retreat to the United States. New York City alone spent $7 billion, and that tab actually still continues to climb because at last count, this city is still housing 45,000 illegal migrants and hotels that they're continuing to shut down. And why are there so many illegal migrants here? Because they house them, they fed them, they're educating them. They gave them Visa gift cards when they first got here. You know, and that all comes at a cost. It's not because we are heartless people that we're saying that we need to stop this. It's because literally the taxpayer cannot continue to afford to pay for it.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagna.
It's my last video right here. I'm done with it. My last video, I'm gonna look over it. I'm about to be done with it, man. Hit that like button though. Subscribe to TNP, man. I appreciate y'all tapping in with me, man. Talking about this crazy tragedy that happened down there in Florida Turnpike. Illegal migrant driver shocking U-turn crash kills 3, man. It's really pretty damn sad, dog. Look at that shit. That's hard to prove it. 30-year-old, 37-year-old, and 54-year-old. Really crazy. Oh my God! Look. Man, it ain't funny, man. It ain't funny, man. It ain't funny, man. Hit that like button, though. It ain't funny, man. But, man, look at this motherfucker. I'm glad he got arrested, bro. It ain't funny. It's really sad, but that motherfucker look crazy, dog. Nigga had on the fake Gucci and shit like that, bro. This motherfucker, hey, that nigga look crazy as shit, dog. What the fuck going on, man? Yeah, this nigga CDL.
What was your reaction when you saw this footage and realized this man cost 3 people their lives?
Boom.
Yeah, it's a horrific situation. California should not have provided this person the driver's license and a permit, not just for a car, but to drive large-scale trucks. To then drive into Florida, engage in this dangerous behavior and take the lives of 3 others is really a tragedy, but it shows how dangerous the open border policies under Obama and Biden have been that have continued to wreak havoc on communities across the country. We're certainly going to charge that person with the heaviest crimes we can and make sure that he gets locked up for as long as possible before then being deported back where he came from.
Get released on bond. That's crazy.
Another alleged deadly crime now highlighting President Trump's immigration crackdown. Watch this horrifying video. It's from Florida last week, and it shows a minivan slamming into a semi-truck. Look at that. It's gone. Driving that truck, an illegal immigrant.
You know, it's disturbing, too, because if you look, we have video of this. We have photos of this. And he seemed to not like, I mean, it was almost like, you know, he's walking down the sidewalk, maybe stubbed his toe, just kind of like, it was like, it didn't register to him, you know, what had happened. And I'm like, that is really, really cold. This guy comes in from India illegally across the U.S.-Mexico border, and he claims asylum. Now, think about that. You know, it'd be one thing if, like, you know, when people, you know, would come from Cuba and they...
How the fuck you coming from India through the Mexican border? Let's talk about that. How the fuck you migrating from India and you coming here through the Mexican border? If that ain't questionable, sketchy, all the above, I don't know what it is, man. This nigga probably got a whole laundry list of crazy shit he running from coming to America, man.
Claim asylum because this was the first place they could get to, right? And you've had situations where this has happened. You're coming from India. How many other countries are you going through? And then you show up in the southern border and say asylum? Like, why didn't you get asylum somewhere else? With this guy that came in illegally from India. So to have 3 people killed, so senseless. so absolutely enraging to see this happening, knowing that none of this, that all this could have been prevented. We had a situation where you had an illegal alien driving one of these massive semi-trucks in Florida, was not a license in Florida, had a California driver's license, of course, and going down the lane, and I think we've all driven in Florida, there'll be breaks in these highways where it'll be.
You gotta love and appreciate the conservative brothers and sisters of America, man. You gotta love and appreciate the conservative brothers and sisters of America out there. Hit that like button. You gotta love and appreciate the conservative thinking brothers and sisters of America, man, because they're the one to keep this America clean, productive. We're the ones that try to keep a righteous mindset at times, man. I appreciate y'all out there, man. Hit that like button. They're not excusing shit like this and swooping it under the rug.
For official use only, and that's really for the highway patrol and law enforcement to be able to get around and do what they needed to do. Well, this guy thought that he should just try to turn a semi-truck around in that, and of course that doesn't happen on a dime, so you had a car coming, run into it, and it ended up killing 3 people, all from Florida, and that should have never happened. He should have never been here. He certainly shouldn't have gotten a commercial driver's license from California. And, it's disturbing, too, because if you look, we have video of this. We have photos of this. And he seemed to not it was almost like, he's walking down the sidewalk, maybe stubbed his toe, just kind of it didn't register to him, what had happened. And I'm like, that is really, really cold. Yeah. But it raises these issues of, in Florida, what we've said is, we're not giving licenses if you're here illegally. We're not giving ID cards. In fact, you can't even do like these NGOs want to issue. We don't allow that. We don't recognize California driver's licenses. And so we're creating a situation where following the law is the right thing to do and violating the law is the wrong thing to do. Now, California, they do it differently. They invite people to come. Illegally. They provide benefits. They provide a lot of different things. I mean, honestly, some of them get treated better.
California is a fucking cesspool, dude. And I understand that. I know the government, the local government, the counties, the state, it has to be straight up, man, like I'm talking about strained. Like with all them, man, all the immigrants and people in there illegally and just all the melee going on in those specific areas of California, especially the big towns, big cities, LA's. Man, I know the government is under like chaos, man. I know they squeezing the straight life out of the government system over there. So it probably is a lot of people slipping through the cracks, pulling scam schemes, all type of things in order to, get these IDs and faking it. And probably so much scamming going on. So I get it, man. But at the same time, you got to tighten up what you got going on there, man.
And blue collar Americans out there with their policies. So that ends up attracting. It creates more of this. And it's frustrating because here we are in Florida. We are doing the right thing. I mean, in the legislate, I've got Jay Broder and these guys have helped us craft these policies. Blaise Ngolio is now the chief financial officer, instrumental working on some of this stuff over the years. We've worked really hard on it. And then to have like a California send this guy in and create havoc for our state, that's just fundamentally wrong. But what it shows is it can't just be like we do things right in Florida and somehow that's going to cure what's happening on the left coast and some of these other places. Ultimately, Congress has the power of the purse. They do not need to fund you if you're a sanctuary state. They can remove funding from sanctuary cities. So stop subsidizing this. You have people that are in Congress that are complaining about what happened. And while I appreciate the sympathy, it's like you.
Let me stop this for a second, man, because I live in a sanctuary city right now, which is Aurora, Denver area. And they're talking about the budget and hiring freeze on the state as far as jobs and stuff like that. And the backdoor governor of Colorado talking about what did he say? Basically talking about how we're with a couple. I can't remember if it was a couple. I think it was $1 billion. As far as the budget, over the budget or something like that. I gotta look it up, man. I don't really feel like doing it right now, man. But I'm just saying But these illegal, I mean, it's an asylum city as well, man. These illegal immigrants, migrants, whatever the fuck you want to call them, man. Like I said, the good ones, I understand, but you got to come here the proper way. You know, you can't use our system, bro. That's all I'm saying, because you stressing it out. That's just as big as it goes for the actual citizens that's from here and that deserve protection, you know, under the amendments of this country and are afforded certain rights. I feel like it's getting out of control. That's just me. It's getting out of control, man. Like, and we're suffering now. Us, the law-abiding, tax-paying citizens are suffering at this point. So it's kind of crazy, man.
Guys have the power of the purse. You can discipline these states that don't follow the law and incentivize law breaking. You know, you could do that very quickly. You also can address another problem with this situation. This guy comes in from India illegally across the U.S.-Mexico border, and he claims asylum. Now, think about that. You know, it'd be one thing if, like, you know, when people, you know, would come from Cuba and they claim asylum, because this was the first place they could get to, right? And you've had situations where this has happened. You're coming from India. How many other countries are you going through? And then you show up in the southern border and say asylum? Like, why didn't you get asylum somewhere else? So they're abusing the process and the statutes that we have in the United States of America, and they're trained to do this. So you have massive numbers of people that have claimed it, millions and millions have claimed it, you know, just leaving country in Central America. They're not truly seeking, they're just basically economic migrants, however you're doing it. And so you have this incentive. So he was basically given some type of preliminary determination. They say, okay, you'll have a hearing in 2 or 3 years, and then it gets pushed, and then it gets pushed, and all this stuff. And it's basically a one-way ratchet. You can come in pretty much unfettered. Well, in the past you could illegally. And then if there's any type of law enforcement, it's like this massive bureaucratic maze that you have to go through. And so Congress can address that too. Congress can address the abuse, you know, that we're seeing in this asylum process, because I'd say 95% of the people that are claiming it just factually do not even come close to meeting what should be. But they do. They say the magic words. They get an initial determination. They get a court date, and you do. And that was something that happened with this guy that came in illegally from India. So to have 3 people killed, so senseless. So absolutely enraging to see this happening, knowing that none of this, that all this could have been prevented. But Florida, you know, we've been leading on this. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff, I think, as a lot of people know, because we believe it's important, you know, that we have law and order prevail across the spectrum. But Congress, you know, they go on TV and they'll complain about stuff. You have power of the purse. You have power to legislate. You can fix these problems. You really can fix these problems. And I would just love to see some action out of the folks in Washington, D.C. Now, we're here today to talk about Florida.
They're the ones has such a heart for the legal immigrants and legal migrants, but don't have a heart for the U.S. citizens that's here, that's been here in this country, man. It's really, like I said, it's all a big play. You know, we all know this, conservative, leftist, you know, whatever. It's all, you know what I'm saying? It's all a big play. But we all know, like, which party, at least, is really the main contributor to these immigrants being here at the rate in which they are currently. And like I said, some plans can go awry. And that's what I really feel like what's happened with the Democrats as far as letting all these illegals into this country. It's gotten to a point now where I don't think they foresaw what the current status that it is in now. You know what I'm saying? Where they could be at a risk of being outpopulated, you know what I'm saying, outvoted. You know, just a lot of things. So I'm thankful for people like Trump. I'm thankful for conservatives like Ron DeSantis that's out here, you know, beating on the table for people that are just the common American citizen, you know what I'm saying, like myself. So I really rock with that. I really appreciate that for sure. Hit that like button for your boy Big Cal too, man. Controversial Cal, what they call me, TNP representative, man. And today I'm the host of this show, TNP, man. Hit that like button, subscribe, show some love. Appreciate y'all tapping in with me this morning.
More accountability with respect to, in this instance, supporting our school districts throughout the state of Florida who are trying to do the right thing. Now, I am always reminding people that Florida has been ranked #1 economy in the U.S. 3 years in a row by CNBC.
Okay, man, trying to get revoted.
We've been ranked #1 overall for education. Some years we're in the top 2 or 3, 4 or 5, but we're always near the top.
We are learning new details tonight about that truck driver accused in last week's deadly crash over on the Turnpike in Fort Pierce.
Yes, right. And for the first time, video from inside the cab shows the exact moment of impact.
Yeah, CBS 12's Katie Benty is joining us tonight live with how this case has sparked a national debate over immigration and trucking safety.
Well, Jim, Luli, this is really about more than just one bad U-turn. The truck driver accused of causing it is undocumented, licensed in California under a controversial law. And now new video taken inside his cab shows the very moments that everything went horribly, horribly wrong. Video circulating online shows the shocking view from inside a semi as a minivan slams into the trailer and wedges underneath. Troopers say that driver, 28-year-old Harjinder Singh, had just made an illegal U-turn cutting across the Florida Turnpike in Fort Pierce last Tuesday. The move left his big rig blocking all northbound lanes. The minivan had no time to brake. All three people inside from Broward and Miami-Dade counties were killed. Singh is now charged with 3 counts of vehicular homicide. He's being held in the St. Lucie County Jail with an ICE detainer, meaning he'll be deported after his criminal case. Federal records show Singh entered the U.S. illegally through the southern border in 2018. Records also show he got his commercial license in California. Under a law called AB 60, passed in 2013, undocumented immigrants can apply for driver's license, even commercial ones. The state argues it's safer to have everyone licensed, tested, and insured. Florida's highway safety director called Singh's actions, quote, shocking and criminal. And longtime truck. Records also show he got his commercial license in California. Under a law called AB 60, passed in 2013, undocumented immigrants can apply for driver's license, even commercial ones. The state argues it's safer to have everyone licensed, tested, and insured. Florida's highway safety director called Singh's actions, quote, shocking and criminal. And longtime trucker Grant Maxey says industry standards need a...
Who the fuck will be sitting around arguing for illegal immigrants to get a commercial driver's license? That's what I want to know. I want this person to be pointed the fuck out. Which one of you fucking scum-sucking politicians was standing around and arguing and threw this shit on the table, and who greased your... Which one of these fucking gyro-eating fucking Sing Poo curry-eating motherfuckers greased your pocket so you could goddamn throw this shit onto the table like it's a big-ass pressing issue, man? Which one of these goddamn burrito eaters motherfucking threw you a goddamn handout so you try to throw this shit out there, man? I want to know that shit, nigga. No offense, because I love my brothers and sisters. This is all love and jokes, man. Hit that like button. Which one of you bean-eating motherfuckers, goddamn it, shoved a burrito up a goddamn constituent's ass, a Democrat's ass, and the motherfucker went out there and fought for this shit in California, bruh, and threw this shit on the goddamn, on the governor and mayor's desk to fight for illegal immigrants getting commercial driver's license. Who the fuck fought for that shit in California? You need to point that scum sucking son of a bitch, our lady, motherfucker, the fuck out, nigga. Our bitch out, nigga. You know, dig? Cause that's just bro. You know whoever that was they got their pockets lined with some illegal dollars or some fetty, man. You know, dig? That's who's gonna fight for that?
Closer look.
It's been a big problem in the last 5 to 8 years. With it, really is. There's a lot more people that are holding CDLs that cannot speak or read English.
The Department of Homeland Security told CBS 12 News it filed the detainer to keep Singh in custody, blaming California's leadership and licensing policy for putting him behind the wheel in the first place.
Throw a little something if you love this video.
Now here in Florida, semis are banned from using those official use only turnarounds. Troopers say Singh did it anyway, and that decision cost 3 lives. Reporting live from the Florida Turnpike, I'm Katie Benty, CBS 12 News.
Hit that like button. Really ain't even trying to get off here to, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, everybody on here trying to show some love. I'm with it.
And new tonight, the governor announcing he will send his second in command to California to pick up the truck driver accused of killing 3 people on Florida's Turnpike while making an illegal U-turn.
The driver, Harjinder Singh, made his first court appearance Tuesday in a California courtroom. He is charged with 3 counts of vehicular manslaughter. Investigators say Singh was behind the wheel of a semi-truck that made an illegal U-turn across all northbound lanes of Florida's Turnpike. A minivan then collided with the truck, killing all 3 people inside. At the court hearing, he signed an extradition waiver to be extradited back to Florida. The case has left a lot of questions about how he was able to get a California commercial driver's license.
The Department of Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy posted on X that the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration is launching an investigation now into the driver and the company that he worked for. Investigative reporter Jennifer Titus has been digging into the background of that driver and the company.
And Jen, what have you learned?
Okay, so when we want background information about a truck company, we go to the FMCSA's website and look under the truck company safer profile. Earlier today, the site was telling me that the company still has authorized operating authority status. But if you click a little deeper to check the company's insurance status, which has been canceled. It was canceled on Monday, just days after the deadly crash. It is illegal for a company to operate without carrying insurance. But experts in the truck industry were very upset that the operating authority status had not yet been changed. That was until I called the FMCSA, and you can see here within minutes of that phone call, their operating authority status was changed to not authorized. We can also see that the driver and vehicle inspection rating averages are both worse than the national average. The feds are looking into white-hot carriers, finding both Washington State and New Mexico violated
Like, that's one thing I can't get these migrants and these illegal immigrants and stuff like that, and people that come to this country with work visas and all that, man. They are some work hard type folks, and they do move smart. I will give them that. They definitely work smart, not hard. They they make money. They know the routes, and they actually get help in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? They get these, like they said, these debit cards and help, and assistance in starting businesses. But they're quick to start a business. They're quick to, like she said, do things like this, make quick money. Uber, fucking commercial driver's license. This is the step up. A lot of them have, like you said, those stores that bring in pretty good money every month. The bodegas and the stores and shit like that. Man, these people, they get to it. These smoke shops, bodegas, CDLs. Courier companies might start like a Amazon, third party or box truck company. These guys be getting to the choke. I give them that. But it's like, this just crazy that they, you know what I'm saying, like, just the fact that they're just throwing people in out here, without the proper credentials or the proper training. You know what I'm saying? They give them the credentials, but they don't have no training or abilities. So it's wild.
FMCSA rules after a preliminary investigation revealed the driver did not speak English. And we'll, of course, stay on top of this case. The governor saying that when the driver is brought back to the state, they will, quote, throw the book at him for what he did. Jennifer Titus, 10 Investigates.
I'd be willing to bet it, like that, which is crazy.
1 week after a deadly crash in Florida.
Good afternoon, Mr. Singh.
Semi-truck driver Harjinder Singh appeared before a judge at the San Joaquin County Superior Court. The Stockton man is accused of making an illegal U-turn on a highway, resulting in the deaths of 3 people. Video from inside the cab shows a moment their minivan hit the truck.
Having been told your rights, what do you want to do today?
Attorney. Singh was detained in Florida and later flew to Sacramento before being detained again in Stockton. Now he's awaiting extradition back to Florida.
Judge, I spoke with Mr. Singh and he is willing to sign extradition papers.
The White House is blaming California's sanctuary policies for the crash, saying Singh was here illegally and Governor Newsom gave him a driver's license anyway. California does allow immigrants without legal status to get driver's licenses, but that does not extend to commercial trucking licenses. In a statement to KCRA, the California DMV said they followed all federal and state laws in reviewing and granting Mr. Harjinder Singh his California commercial driver's license, adding that Mr. Singh's commercial driver's license is a federal real ID, which he was entitled to receive given the federal government's confirmation of his legal status. KCRA obtained this complaint filed in 2018 regarding Singh's illegal entry into the U.S. It shows
we got all this money for fucking illegal immigrants, but meanwhile it's poverty amongst our own kind in America. And I'm not talking about black. I'm talking about of all creeds and colors. We're out here struggling to make a way, and they're out here wasting money on illegal immigrants, giving them ways to make millions of dollars and do all this shit and stress out our infrastructure, and they're making the cost of living ridiculous for the average American. But they want to act like they have money and time and resources and things that they can dedicate to illegals for all the past couple fucking almost 10 years, for short of the past 5 years, and they got buku money to throw at illegal immigrants. This illegal immigrant issue or problem in America. And now, like I said, we got the man for the job. Yes, sir. We got the man for the job. We got the man with the plan in that Oval Office, man. And that's that boy Trump. That's that man Trump, man. Shout out to that man. Because we got to put a crackdown to a lot of things. Got to put a crackdown to crime. I just did a video on that. You know what I'm saying? What's going on down there in Washington, D.C. We got to put a crackdown to the illegals. And that's all love to the ICE task force out here across America doing their jobs, doing their due diligence. Man, we got to take back America. We got to make America great again, man. Show some love to that Cash App, man. $ Toxic Masculinity POD. It's in the description box, man. That's $ Toxic Masculinity POD. Also have a PayPal. It's under CALVINHILLIE. That's my name, man. Controversial Cal. But yeah, man. Big Cal, Controversial Cal, whatever you want to call me, man. Show some love. Hit that like button. But yeah, man. It really makes you question a lot of things as a FBA, you know, or a foundational American FA, you know, whatever you want to call it. We're one of the original people that went through the proper channels to come to this country and are protected by the Constitution of this country. And it's kind of worrying when we have poverty amongst all people that went here through the proper channels. People are, you know, we see it every day. You know, you got homelessness going rampant. We got whatever, you know, a lot of things going rampant out here. And it's just crazy that America has the money under the Biden regime. Got to point that out. Had all this money and time and influence and resources and you know what I'm saying, they can you know, put all this propaganda out there about how this, you know, is an open door policy on America and all this bullshit. And you know, what about us? You know, the people that are here that tax paying, busting ass to be here. Why are we getting stretched out by the same America? Why is America clenching its fist on us when it should be, you know, finding ways to alleviate our stress and our ways and our worry, you know what I'm saying, just as they do these people that come here illegally. And so, man, it's something to question, man. Yes, sir, it's something to question, man. TNP, hit that like button, subscribe, show some love. Appreciate y'all out there watching.
He was seeking asylum, and our news partners at the San Francisco Chronicle confirmed he had a federal work permit. Over the weekend, ICE issued an immigration detainer for Singh. In this video posted on social media, San Joaquin County Sheriff Pat Withrow says he was not allowed to honor it.
I am not able to honor an ICE hold on this subject because he's from out of the country, he's here illegally, but California law, SB 54, does not allow me to honor the ICE hold by law because he has committed no previous crimes other than this incident.
The sheriff also urged residents to call their legislators to push for changes to SB 54, calling it a way to help all sheriffs across the state. In Stockton, Marisela de la Cruz, KCRA 3 News.
We reached out to DHS about Singh's immigration status, and in a statement, Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said Harjinder Singh is here illegally, and his work authorization was rejected under the Trump administration on September 14th, 2020. It was later approved under the Biden administration, June 9th, 2021. The state of California issues commercial driver's licenses. There is no national CDL.
65 undocumented immigrants in Connecticut detained by ICE. Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff going on in this country, man. It's just wild to really think about it.
The Trump administration now investigating a deadly Florida crash allegedly caused by an illegal migrant truck driver.
And officials say the suspect couldn't read English or understand road signs despite getting a commercial driver's license from 2 sanctuary states.
Right now,
Lucas Thomason is live in Washington with the details. Good morning, Lucas.
Good morning, Lawrence. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy has launched a new investigation into this deadly Florida highway crash involving an illegal alien. Preliminary report says if states had followed the rules, the driver would have never been behind the wheel. It also says the driver responsible for that fatal crash that killed 3 people. Quote, the driver...
So inclined to show some love on that Cash App or that PayPal. The PayPal is CALVINHILLIE. That's my boy. That's my name. Controversial Cal, man. Show some love. All that Cash Apps in the description box. But yeah, man, this country is really under siege in a lot of areas, man. Like I said, shout out to that man right there. Y'all see it. Donald J. motherfucking Trump, man. He's, like I said, the immigrant problem is a problem. It is a problem in this country. We have to admit it, and then I'm one of the main ones talking about the crime in this country, and I'm one of the FBA, Foundational Black Americans, that come online on this platform to actually tell the truth about what's going on in America as far as the crime in the Black community. It's as sometimes it has been a chokehold and an issue for me personally, just seeing it, watching it, and just the denial of it. But yeah, man, we just got to take this country back as far as just from crime. You know what I'm saying? Crime, and we got to bring back families. You know what I'm saying? We just got to find some type of direction in this country. That's just my biggest issue with this country right now, man. Like the Biden regime really threw us for a loop as a country, and I'm just gonna be the first one to say it. It really threw us for a loop as a country, man. Like just the influx of migrants and illegal immigrants for the purpose, as they say, to help with voting. As that's what I've heard, which makes no kind of sense to me. But I don't claim to be a person that's all the way involved in the knowledge of politics. I don't know who this is calling me. I'm gonna hit that back. Boop. Right now, I got them. I'm working right now, baby.
Failed the assessment, providing correct responses to just 2 of 12 verbal questions and only accurately identifying 1 of 4 highway traffic signs.
I got to strike while the axe is hot. As they say, I got to strike while the iron is hot. People on here watching right now in the morning, man. I love it. I love that they engage with this topic. I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. I think this topic is very, very important. You know what I'm saying? It's very pertinent to what's going on right now in America. Like I said, to me, it's a big issue how someone can just come here into this country and get a commercial driver's license. It's really disgusting when you think about all the things that a normal citizen of any race, creed, or religion has to do if you're a legal citizen of this country, to obtain a commercial driver's license. It is not easy. It is not easy. You cannot just snap your fingers and get a commercial driver's license. Like the proper channels and the things you got to do in order to get one is very difficult. So it's just, to me, is the fact that they handing these things out like popcorn to illegal immigrants or people with work visas is very concerning to just myself. And the fact that this Indian guy came in through the Mexican border under the Biden administration is even more concerning. So I don't know what is, what's going to happen with this guy, and I really don't care. Like I say, he ended 3 people's lives, but I'm definitely thankful for the reaction from the Trump administration and how they're doing with a lot of things, from the carjacking in DC to this to certain issues in America. And like I said, I'm going to go in on this other thing that I've been seeing going around, talking about Trump wanting to do away with slave history or something like that. I'm just saying, the people in this country, we have a victimhood mentality too much. That's just one of my biggest mindsets we have in this country, a victimhood mentality. Like, and if you want to, I guess the thing is cutting back. If you want to preserve that lineage of slavery, if Black people care so much to preserve that lineage and that era of history, you put your money together and you develop your own private museum in which you get these artifacts, you ask them, you buy them back, you do what you got to do, you get donations, and you do it for yourself. Why are you asking any for government funding for something that is important to you? If it's for your community, why are you asking? Like, I'm gonna get to that. Don't worry about it. TNP, man. Subscribe, man. Stay tuned, man, because you got a logical mind trying to come to some real logical reasonings and answers. You understand? So
here's more from Secretary Duffy on X posting, "Here's what we know. Washington State improperly issued the driver a full-term commercial driver's license. Asylum seekers or illegal aliens are not allowed to receive this. New Mexico failed to conduct an English language proficiency test when they pulled the driver over for speeding. Had they done this, the driver would not have been on the road. We're also looking into California's issuance of the commercial driver's license. The failures here are despicable, and non-enforcement and radical immigration policies have turned the trucking industry into a lawless frontier, resulting in unqualified foreign drivers improperly acquiring licenses to operate 40-ton vehicles. The president and I moved quickly to require drivers to speak English, our national language.
Biggest thing I want y'all to do is subscribe and subscribe. We're really to subscribe to the podcast. I just want to get my content out there. Watch, stay tuned. But that's one of the biggest things that I appreciate from y'all is just to subscribe. That's the biggest thing.
And launch a full-scale audit of how these licenses are doled out. Now, here's more about the driver. Harjinder Singh is accused of killing 3 people in a minivan in Florida after attempting an illegal U-turn through a highway last week in Fort Pierce, marked official use only with his massive tractor in Florida after you showed the video after attempting an illegal U-turn to a highway last week in Fort Pierce, marked official use only with his massive tractor trailer blocking the highway before William Highway. And the 28-year-old illegal alien faces deportation and 3 counts of homicide. The trucking company is also under review. And guys, that accident happened just an hour north of Palm Beach in Mar-a-Lago. Guys.
Wow, thanks, Lucas. And we have all caught on video. Washington State is not allowed to issue a commercial driver's license to illegal aliens.
Like, that dumbass knew the tail was gonna swing out like that. Like, come on, bro. You didn't even measure to see, like, bro, any person that has a heart would at least would have looked back to measure to see if anybody was even close. You would have came to a complete stop. At least came, or you know, it came to a complete stop, so you know nobody's coming type shit, and then you can block the whole everything. That's why I'd have slowly came to a complete stop. Like, something like, bro, I mean, you really shouldn't just not have did that shit. You should have went to the next exit and went over a fucking overpass and made the turn like you were supposed to legally. Like, bro, that's just lazy fucking driver and commercial driver work. But I'm a commercial driver myself, as far as like cargo vans, expediting, all type of stuff like that. Like, I just know how, you know, and I've looked through the proper channels to get CDLs, and I know the process, all that. I've driven with people. I've driven excuse me, car haulers, 3 car haulers, all type of thing. As far as with a dually truck, I just know I went through weigh stations. I've done all that. Drove across Louisiana, bruh. That makes absolutely no fucking sense. You go to the next exit and you go through the overpass and you turn the fuck around the proper way, bruh. Like, that's lazy as fucking hell. And somebody died over your laziness, and that's it. Like that, and your neglect. That's it. Like, there's nothing else to talk about. Somebody died because you're too fucking lazy to wait to the next exit so you get off and turn the fuck around and get back on the northbound or whatever, or southbound. It's that simple. So yeah, man, that's really laziness. It's sad that somebody 3 people lost their lives because somebody was too fucking lazy to wait a little bit more time and waste a little bit more gas and drive a little bit longer to get off on the exit. It's disgusting, dude.
Did. New Mexico failed to conduct an English proficiency test, and they pulled the driver over for speeding. Had they done that, the driver would not have been on the road. So, but both states, sanctuary states, lenient illegal immigrant policies, and the result is more death.
So this driver is driving down in Florida. He ends up being arrested in the state of California. So did he drive all the way across the country? If you get an illegal driver's license in a state that allows this,
you can't even read English.
You drive all over the map, and he ended up. He's being charged with killing 3 people, a 37-year-old woman, a 54-year-old man who was from Miami, and a 30-year-old driver of that car, of that minivan. You could see in the video the minivan just before it hits. So you know, obviously, they're alive. And as soon as it hits, 2 of them die there on the scene. One was transported to the hospital. And the driver, if you are in an accident, have you ever been in an accident, you get so nervous. You have a reaction. The driver didn't even have a reaction, just looks back and sees that the minivan hit him, did a U-turn in the middle of the Florida Turnpike.
Well, no reaction when people died immediately on the scene. So you see the medical workers as well as first responders putting the white cloth over the body, and you still don't have a reaction after you see that. But I have multiple questions. First of all, who gave the test? Who administered the test? They should be banned.
You can easily find out, right? Don't you have to sign off?
Just investigate. These aren't easy tests. My dad's a truck driver, so who gave the test? Was there someone helping him with the test? Because the guy doesn't speak English. Was the test given in a different language? I mean, there's so many questions about
read one of the 4 road signs.
That makes no sense.
I mean, so it was so interesting that he couldn't answer. They asked him 12.
Any English could attain a commercial driver's license. It's really perplexing. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's like, man, it's like, is this a setup? What world are we on? Like, what world are we on, and what world do we live in? Where a motherfucker can get a damn commercial driver's license. Crazy. Here we go with CNN with the false news, man. I'm gonna jump over to this, man. Nah, I don't even know. I don't know nothing about it. So let's talk about this, because I want to know. Trump attacks Black history. CNN debate on erasing slavery from I guess that's museums. Let's click on this.
Good evening. I'm Abby Phillip in New York. Last week on this show,
I want to know. So stay tuned, man. Stay tuned with TNP, because I want to know, man. Y'all right here with me. Y'all learning with me. Hit that like button. Stay tuned. So some love. You're gonna throw something on that Cash App, man. But we're gonna let's focus in on this, man, because I really want to know, how is Trump attacking Black history? CNN with these sensationalized propaganda and storylines and headlines. Let's see how Trump alone can destroy Black history. Because if it's Black history and it's something that you know, how can you destroy it if it's in your mind? You can do what you want. Let's listen in.
A guest shocked the table by arguing in part that slavery in America can't just be blamed on one race, and that museums put too much focus on the role of white people who participated in that terrible institution. And now tonight, that same argument is being pushed by the President of the United States. Donald Trump says that one of the reasons for his crackdown on Smithsonian museums is, quote, everything discussed is how bad slavery was. What we try to do on this program is create a platform for discussion and debate that reflects the very real differences that exist in this country. It's what echo chambers in our society fail to do, frankly. But on this topic, it's important to say objectively, slavery was indeed bad. It was evil, the nation's original sin. And it is impossible to understand the true history of this country without fully grappling with slavery's impact. Simply because of their birthplace and the color of their skin, the bodies and spirits of Black men, women, and children were exploited for profit and power. They were forced onto ships, bound by shackles and collars that ripped off their skin. One older man described it as iron entering our souls. Some chose to jump into the waters infested with sharks rather than feel that iron. Now, once they arrived on this very soil, they were forced to work by way of the whip, despite being starved, sleep-deprived, threatened, tortured.
It's only 23 minutes, folks. I'm sure she'll get to the point soon enough. Bear with me, man. I just want to know how Trump is attacking and destroying Black history, man. I know I don't want a lesson on Black history and slavery. I want to know what the fuck is going on today. I understand that you have to play on people's emotions. That's what the left and Democrats do. I want to know how Trump is attacking Black history and trying to erase slavery from museums. That's it. I don't want to hear fucking Black history, goddamn history on goddamn slavery. But let's endure it, folks.
Physically and psychologically, they were auctioned off, humiliated, fearful, and separated from their families and their children. Black women and girls were raped and sexually assaulted. Many were brutally murdered and mutilated. Now, this endured for decades, centuries. And even in the places where slavery was not legal, institutions from our banks to universities were built on enslaved labor in both the North and in the South. And for many of the white Americans who did not personally own slaves, they benefited from a caste system that concentrated wealth and political power in their hands. So, when we acknowledge the existence of Black people who operated George Washington's Mount Vernon or the Black hands that built the White House, we are acknowledging the existence, the perseverance, and the contributions of the souls that white supremacy sought to erase. Those people built families, they developed a culture.
My bad, I'm slowing it down, man. I apologize, man. This is really kind of stagnant right here, man. I don't know what the fuck's going on. We're going to fast forward it, though. My bad, man. I don't know what's going on. You understand? They're not getting to the point. They're giving us a history on the harshness and the brutality of slavery, which we all understand and understand. I've seen this headline going on too much, and I want to debunk it. I actually want to get to the nitty gritty. What is Trump doing, and how does he want to attack Black history and erase slavery from museums and the harshness of slavery? Let's get to it, man.
They were the keepers of the faith, cultivators of community. And they are the ones who deserve credit for forcing America to rid itself of the stain of slavery. Now, all of this information, these stories are from the Smithsonian's African American History Museum. And I share this not as a lecture for you, but as a lesson. America.
Pretty damn sure came off like a fucking lecture. I ain't gonna lie to you. A very dull one at that.
The superpower is largely possible only because of the superpowers of people who went lifetimes without the same rights of generations who were boosted from their backs. True history should include everything. Yes, the evils and the horrors too. And museums are supposed to be places that protect those stories, the images, the lessons, the very things that inform so much of our current state of our republic, from racism to poverty. no matter how painful or, in the president's words, how horrible the lesson. Now, just listen to one formerly enslaved man describe what slavery did of the end of the
ain't doing all that.
The work and love of the people who helped create.
We ain't doing all that, goddammit.
Any of the Smithsonian museums. And then I remembered that in 2017, he actually took a tour of the National Museum of African American History and
Let me
Culture.
just play, actually, what he said during that tour. Listen to this.
I had the privilege of visiting the National Museum of African American History and Culture right here in Washington, D.C. It's a new, beautiful Smithsonian museum that serves as a shining example of African Americans' incredible contributions to our culture, our society, and our history. It also tells of the great struggle for freedom and equality that prevailed against the sins of slavery and the injustice of discrimination. The work and love of the people who helped create such a masterpiece is a testament to the legacy of so many leaders it honors.
So was it that he didn't believe what he read from the
model? Please.
Way.
Liberal man, give it that.
I still haven't 4,000 times.
Bro. I haven't, like, that is crazy. That is crazy, bro. I have not been answered anything. Like, what the fuck is going on? Let me see. Trump Black History. See, that's the first thing that pop up. News about Donald Trump. Smithsonian. Trump says Smithsonian portray.
And President Trump today explaining.
Let's go. Let's go on here. I'm about to get up off here and do something else in a little bit, people. Appreciate y'all tapping in with me, though, man. Hit that like button. Show some love on that Cash App if you feel so inclined. Or the PayPal. It's under CAL Calvin, CALVINHILLIE. Or the Cash App, $ Toxic Masculinity POD. It's in the subscription box. I appreciate who sent me that Cash App, man. Y'all keep them flowing in, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Racial justice groups push back on President Trump's criticism of Smithsonian. So the whole issue basically is over Trump. Trump had an issue with the Smithsonian. President Trump ramps up attacks on Smithsonian museums. So apparently everybody's taking an issue with the fact that Donald Trump allegedly has an issue with all the graphic details of how slavery was in the Smithsonian Museum or something like that.
Mike, I know you have conversations about cultural issues like this all the time on your show. So what kind of a reaction are you hearing to this story?
Frustration. There's a lot of frustration out there. There's a lot of individuals who feel like there is an erasure that is happening of history. But also, too, a lot of individuals are feeling there is this anti-blackness dynamic that is happening. And if you look at it, it started bubbling up to the surface when you start seeing the affirmative action cases going before the Supreme Court. It was very much a black person is taking away my spot. I know I had to deal with that when I was at the University of Michigan. One of the first cases against Bollinger was actually my freshman year, where one of the defendants said that a black person took her seat. And so the tension that caused being on campus. And then you see what's happening too with this anti-DEI movement, right? There's always the idea that a black person's unqualified, but we're not looking at the full scope and spectrum of what DEI actually is, and actually is dealing with those who have certain disabilities and capabilities too as well.
President Trump is now ordering a review of the Smithsonian museums, accusing the institutions of focusing too much on, quote, how bad slavery was. He made that comment in a social media post yesterday. The president says he will subject the museums to the exact same process his administration has conducted at universities, which have faced federal funding cuts over DEI and anti-Semitism concerns. Trump's comments come 1 week after.
One of my biggest issues, man, one of my biggest plights, one of my biggest concerns as far as people getting so up in arms about, the government funding of these museums. And I know, like you said, it's the same institutions we want to be in place forever because it's historical. You always want to have that in place. But I feel it's important for black people of color, black folks, to be self-empowered and to do things for ourselves. That's just me. That's just how I look at the world. That's how I look at things. I don't expect a white power structure, a European power structure, to provide safety and protection for my history, the things that I cherish, the things that I find important. That's just me myself. Like if things matter so much as far as the history of slavery, like this is what we're fighting for, really. This is what we're at arms and about to sit here and have a debate about, and this is what we're frustrated and up in arms about, is the protection of the history of slavery. Why don't you do everything in your power as a community to protect that history? It is your duty, it is your right to protect these artifacts, the history, the whatever, the songs, that, you know, the stories, all that, the ballads. Is your job to protect that, not the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? It's not their part to put your history in the Smithsonian Museum, or if they do, like you said, they don't have to have the depictions that you want of the cruelty that you want. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they're trying to move on, you do that for yourself. That's all I'm saying too. Like, if you want that, you build a museum bigger than the Smithsonian, better than the Smithsonian. You build something and you protect it, and you make sure it lasts the test of time. Like, you know, like these college institutions and statues and all these monuments, you make sure that it stands the test of time. You protect it. You put the proper money into it to make sure you protect all the artifacts, all of their history, and you do that for yourself. That's what makes the most sense to me. It's as a common, you know, FBA black men in America, I think it's our duty and our responsibility to hold our history intact, not the U.S. government. That's just me. That's just how I look at things. I don't sit here with a victim mentality. I don't sit around crying about shit. I say it is my duty and responsibility to preserve my history. Like, I'm not going to sit here and cry about what somebody else says about, you know, are putting too much of a bad emphasis on the slavery era. We all know it was bad, but maybe that is just not a depiction that they want to have in the Smithsonian any further. That's something you got to think about. If you want the graphic nature of the slavery depicted, you make your own museum, and hell, that's money. You know, you can charge people for it. That's money, that's revenue that you can put into whatever you want to do. So that's just my mindset, man. So
his administration told the museums they would be required to adjust any content the White House finds problematic in, quote, tone, historical framing, and alignment with American ideals ahead of the country's 250th anniversary next year. Earlier this year, NBC News found at least 32 artifacts once on display at the National Museum of African American History and Culture had been removed, including a book belonging to Harriet Tubman. White House officials said yesterday the president plans to extend his review of museums beyond the Washington-based institution, saying he will hold the Smithsonian accountable and, quote, then go from there. Where to begin, Reverend Sharpton? This is a whitewashing of history through the eyes of one man and one movement, telling a new story of our history as a country.
And what is so blatantly offensive about it is the inferences there was some good side to slavery. I mean, people were dehumanized, names taken, families broken up, made to labor with no wages. About 13 years ago, a reporter found my family roots, found out that my great-grandfather was a slave in Edgefield, South Carolina, owned by Alexander Sharpton. And it occurred to me, I'm named after my great-grandfather's slave master. Even my name is not my name. And on top of that, he was married to Anna Thurman, who was the cousin of Strom Thurmond. So you can't erase this. We're not talking about something that did not happen. How do you do American history without talking about that? Now, you can talk about how there were whites that fought as abolitionists and ended slavery. That's the good side.
That's in the museum.
Which is the emancipation.
Yeah.
But to act like to talk about slavery is bad is offensive and is also incorrect. And it's just as bad, and I've said this when blacks said they talk too much about the Holocaust. What happens, happens. We need to be honest about it, straight about it, and then talk about those that correct it. Gee, we have a...
I mean, I can smoke a bag of that. You know what I'm saying? With Al Sharpton saying right there. You know what I'm saying? My biggest thing, and I never disputed the fact of the harshness of slavery when I, you know, elocuted earlier. My issue is the fact of having to grovel to folks for the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Where if these things are so important to you, then you should be spearheading getting that started. You know, for whether a museum, whatever the hell you want to do, you should be the one spearheading it. You shouldn't be, in my opinion, is groveling or asking or begging or pleading to an institution to exalt your history You know what I'm saying? Even though they exalt their own, like that's just me how I look at things. If I had, if it's important to me, I'm gonna protect it. That's just me.
Holocaust Museum.
It's not taken away
that
from
talks about the
history.
Holocaust.
They just don't want to
So why wouldn't we have a museum that talks about American slavery, which I think throughout, at least the last 50, 60 years, people on all sides of the political spectrum have seen as the great original sin of American history.
Subscribe to the podcast, TNP Big Cal, man, controversial Cal, man, the only one, the one and only. You know what I'm saying? From the Carolinas to the Rockies, one of the baddest podcasts out here, man. One of the baddest live streams out here. We're just trying to, get to it. I just feel like talking about that immigrant that caused all that chaos down there in Florida, man. It really was concerning to me, to the status of America, man. And like I said, we talk about a little bit of everything, ratchet shit, conservative shit, political things. We talk about it. We really jump all over the, all over the place with our content. So really nothing is really off limits. So we all over this spectrum with it. Man, but I appreciate y'all jumping on here and jumping on this live stream and showing me some love and engagement this morning. I appreciate it all. Yes, sir. No doubt. No doubt. Hit that like button if you're out there watching right now, man. Hit that like button. And if all y'all out there subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. While you're out there chilling right now, hit that subscribe button, man. That'll be so much love for me. Hit that subscribe button. Just hit that thing while you're out there right now. Just hit that. Hit it. Yes, sir. TNP. We live again, baby. Subscribe, hit the like button. Hey, you can throw a little something, $1, hey, any type of donations, man. We appreciate it over here on TNP, man. It's right there in the description box. $ Toxic Masculinity POD. And yeah, man, like I said, I'm really non-traditional when it comes to this podcast thing, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't sensationalize for the views, man. We keep it 100, be ourselves. So that's how it really engages and connects with the masses, in my opinion, man, because I'm relatable.
Indeed it was. Indeed it is. The great original sin of American history.
Everybody wants to be polarized.
Sharpton, I have a great-great-grandfather who was named, had to take the name of his owner in Charleston, South Carolina. So he became...
Everybody wants to be so polarizing today. You know, understand? Like, to me, that's a big issue. Where's the people that's right down the middle that's keeping a calm, cool head and looking at things for the facts and not through the emotional lens of life? So that's what I try to strive for on TNP, man. It just seems like so many people are just divided we live in this just such a divisive era where everybody is, like I said, everybody wants to be polarizing. And I'm really not with it. We all about to get up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in for the day. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all jumping on this live stream. About to get up out of here, man. It's been a good one. Peace. Peace and hair grease, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Straight up, man. I hate to jump off the live stream with y'all 27 still on here viewing, man, but I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. And, man, it's been a good day, man. Y'all have a blessed day, man. Subscribe to TNP while you're out there, man. I got some more videos coming, man. It's going to definitely entertain you. Definitely keep you on the edge of your seat. Definitely keep you entertained. And you're going to love what you're hearing. You know what I'm saying? I promise you. It's going to make you think. And that's all I strive to do, man. Be analytical, be critical, you know what I'm saying? Be an independent thinker. So that's one of the biggest things TNP loves to strive to do is look at it from a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? I want to push you right to the edge of that cognitive dissonance that you have in your mind, man. So I want to make you think another way, man. You know what I'm saying? Just make you rewire that brain in the way you've been thinking. And it won't hurt, you know what I'm saying? It don't hurt. So just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? You're going to feel like Adam Sandler off the water boy a little bit, man. You might have been told by somebody that you love and you really believe mama said, man. But I just want to make you just think for 1 second from a different perspective, from a different lens. You know what I'm saying? It's called empathy, man. I want to give you a little bit of empathy, a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, ability to look at it from another person's perspective and feel what they're feeling at times. You know what I'm saying? That's what I really try to evoke from folks, that empathy. You know what I'm saying? I want you to feel and look at it from another person's perspective and lens, man. You understand? And we talk a little shit, you know, it is what it is, 10p. We talk a little gas, talk a little shit, you know what I'm saying? That's just part of the stick. It's part of the, you know what I'm saying, part of what we do on TNP. So we talk a little shit. You know, you got to keep people entertained, man. Everything can't be dry and politically correct and PC, man. We gotta spruce it up, man. Spark it up some, you know, spunk it up some. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm about to go be a father. You know what I'm saying? Get in my daily duties and, you know, participate in this thing called the economy of this world, man. I appreciate y'all out here looking and I'm glad that I can entertain y'all for this little bit of time I'm on here, man. That's all I try to do with TNP, man. Just try to find the time, you know what I'm saying, and put this content out there, man, because that's all I got to do. But like I said, I'm going to get up out of here, man. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace and love. Peace and hair grease, man. Love all y'all, man. Like I said, man, it's no race. It's only the human race, man. We got to look through that thing called color, man. And so we actually got to judge people and love people by the content of their character and not the color of their skin, man. We got to really mean that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Martin Luther King. It's a lot of people, they profess to be this way, but man, when you really live this way, you're really living a liberated and free life when you're not letting race and racial idolatry control you. And that's from any spectrum, man. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be all love and all about progress and progression. It can't be about stagnation. It can't be about the hatred. It can't be about being fighting at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So that's what TNP, that's what I strive to do. And that's why I'm getting so much love, in all honesty, because people are really starting to see that this is a different perspective than the status quo. You know, this is a different perspective than the status quo, man. Excuse them lights going out, man. You know, in here in this good old garage, get it in, man. But yeah, man, that's one thing that I look to establish immediately is just that different perspective, that differing perspective that keeps people on the edge of their seats, man. So shit, right now we low quality, but we're gonna come with a lot more content too, man. Like I said, we're just beginning. TNP, I'm just really 3 years in with this content creation thing, which is crazy. It's really crazy when you think about it. I think I'm just 3 years in with content creation, man. And I'm almost trying to get to that monetization level where, you know, I can be on here continuously and even more because it makes more sense. But I appreciate y'all donating to me too, man. That's definitely motivation, you know what I'm saying, to keep on spitting this powerful education and information, you understand? But thank you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for showing love. Shoot. Man, it's nothing but love, man, for me, man, for real, for real. Yeah, man, we out of here, man. Peace.